Good evening, everyone. I am so excited that you are here with us this evening. We are kicking Monday off the best way that I know how, and that is with some amazing guests. I hope if you're joining us that you know why I am wearing this amazing headband, because I am hoping to be an itty-bitty kitty corn, just like our star of the show this evening, Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn. So if you visited our store at all, you've gotten to take a picture with the amazing unicorn and Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn. And maybe you've even purchased your own book for yourself. But tonight we are here with the amazing author and illustrator of this title, creators of Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn, which I think they're going to discuss this evening. Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn was made in St. Louis. They're going to tell us more about that. So I'm going to take myself off of this screen and welcome our amazing guests, Ms. Shannon Hale and Ms. LeUyen Pham. Good evening.
Hooray! It's so good to be back in St. Louis.
No, my horn should be on my head, but the strap broke.
No!
Later, it's okay. It's still nice.
You're still an Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn. I think you still get to be that, right?
Yeah, you're a kitty corn at heart. That's what.
That's right.
We are so glad you're back in St. Louis. Thank you so much for being with us. We wish it was in person. I think we all wish that, but we will gladly take you virtually because we are just so excited that you are here.
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Well, I'm Shannon Hale, and I am joining you from Utah.
And I'm LeUyen Pham, and I am joining you from Los Angeles,
And
California.
we are so happy to be in St. Louis, especially because, as Stephanie said, this book was born in St. Louis.
No, I didn't realize that until this morning when we were visiting a school, and Shannon just pulls it on me. Realize that we made kitty corn in St. Louis, and I looked at her like, oh, and I haven't been able to overcome that fact all day. I just keep thinking about it. She's a St. Louis baby.
Yes, and in fact, when we were when our wonderful publisher Abrams was asking us if there was any specific bookstores we were hoping to include in this tour for this book, I said Novel Neighbor because that's where this book was born. And should we tell them the story now or wait later?
But see, that's why Shannon is the unicorn, because she remembers these things. I am the scattered-haired idiot cat, not idiot, the funny little kitty that just can't remember anything. And she's the unicorn that's like, let us be kind and acknowledge where we got these things. And I'm like, what? So this is amazing. She's so cool that she remembers this. But yes, we should tell them the story because it's a story we keep telling people, but it means something special because it's insane. Wow.
So we were touring for a book called Best Friends about 2 years ago. And this was the third, fourth, fifth city we'd been in. Mm-hmm. And we were in St. Louis, and we did 2 school visits, and then we did an evening event at the library and hosted by the Novel Neighbor. And then between the 2 school visits, we had a little break. And so our lovely escort, a local St. Louis fella who drove us around in his car. I can't remember his name. He was so nice. You remember he took us to get the great custard, right? The St. Louis custard.
Did.
Yes,
he
yes.
Think about St. Louis. Yes.
I should know the name of that. I'm so sorry. I'm sure all of you know. But so he took us to a coffee shop, and I was working on revising a novel. And Wynn was on her iPad working on drawing a picture book. And we just started talking about delightful things.
Yes. I think what it was we were sitting and chatting, and I was telling Shannon that I'd gotten a manuscript, and it was about this really ridiculously cute animal, but I didn't want to do a book for someone else. I wanted to do something, for myself, a really cute animal. And it got around to Shannon saying, it's actually really hard to write a book like that. It's not as easy as you think. And I said to her, this was like challenge thrown. I said, but Shannon, you're like a world-class top-tier writer, and I'm not too shabby. I've done 120 picture books. Between the 2 of us, we might be able to come up with something. And we were
I was like, easier said than done. I've tried to write so many picture books. I know they're not that easy. We can't just say, let's do something magical and wonderful.
And
Have it happen.
we were just joking around. We weren't serious. I think we were both really, really tired too.
Yeah.
And then Shannon just started saying, well, these are the things my kids are into. They're into like cats and unicorns. And then I think we just started, joking with one another. And we thought, oh, this would be funny. What if it was this little thing and it was so, pink, and we were just throwing everything at it, just not worried at all. And then I started drawing again on my iPad.
Yeah, we were like, that's a cute idea. Let's just go back to work. So I go back to writing and she's back to drawing.
And then I want to say like 10 minutes passed, and
yeah,
I had stopped working what I was supposed to work on, and I just couldn't get this little image of the silly kitty out of my head. So I started sketching. And then Shannon, at the same time, I didn't realize she was doing the same thing she was writing.
I couldn't get the idea out of my head. So I was supposed to be working on a different manuscript, but I opened up a new page and I started writing a couple stanzas, like trying to figure out what would the story be about a cat that's also a unicorn. No, it's a cat who wants to be a unicorn, who sees herself as a unicorn. And so I start just kind of typing a little bit. And then a few minutes later, when she turns around, you can call her Win, by the way, LeUyen Pham, but she goes by Win. I don't want to confuse you. But she turns around her iPad and she shows me she's drawn her. That's what she's been doing. She hasn't been doing the work she was supposed to be doing. She's drawing our itty-bitty kitty corn. And I was like, oh, really? And I turned my laptop around and I show her, I've been writing it. We were both like, oh my gosh. And clearly we've discovered something that's too adorable and precious to ignore.
It was just it was so funny. And it happened in a coffee shop. Do you remember the name of the coffee shop?
I do not.
Anyway, she was born in St. Louis. I can't believe it. And now it's
I want to say it was downtown somewhere, but I'm not sure.
It was downtown somewhere. And it was, oh gosh. We'll remember it. We'll come back, and then we'll all trip over there and all have coffee together when the lockdown is over. And I will draw things left and right for everybody. All right, we should get started. Let's get started. I'm going to get started.
Let's get started.
Hold on. Share screen.
She's going to share her screen so she can show you some really fun pictures. I'm sorry for the children. You want to see pictures. You just don't want to hear us just chatting. Don't worry. There's going to be a lot of good pictures.
I know. There we go. PowerPoint. There we go. And slideshow and play for start. So when the slideshow is playing, I can't tell what's going on anywhere. So here we go.
There she is. Poof.
It's itty-bitty kitty corn. And this is very close to the version that we did in the coffee shop, which I am definitely going to show everybody later because, of course, it was made there.
Yes.
What has 2 fuzzy ears, sleek silvery whiskers, great green eyes, and a sparkly sprinkled horn? Ta-da! It's Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn by Shannon Hale. And that's me. That's how you pronounce my name, LeUyen Pham, believe it or not. It doesn't look like it, but that's what it is. Oops, and I always do that. And who's this? Oh, look how cute these little girls are. Are these our daughters? No, they're not our daughters.
It's us. That's us when we were little. That's us when we were like 4 and 5. And we are the same age. We were the same age at the same time, even though we lived in completely different states and hadn't met each other yet. But we feel like we've been friends forever. And we also feel like we've been kitty corns forever.
Absolutely. I keep saying this, that I wish I had known Shannon since we were little, because we probably would have made a lot more books by now, for sure. You know what I did? I was combing through my computer, and while I know we didn't meet until we were in our 30s, I came across this photo, and it looks just like you. Shannon, is that you? Could that possibly be you?
That is me. That's definitely me. And I'm in braces. So I'm 13 years old, and I'm clearly sitting next to 13-year-old LeUyen.
I know. How could that possibly have happened? Maybe the magic of Photoshop. I don't know. It just appeared on my computer through the magic of Photoshop. Wow. So see, this is possible, very Bigfoot-like evidence that we have been friends for a lot longer than we thought we were, because it could have just happened that way. So
the future changes the past. Well, when we first met, Win and I had both been working in creating books, but we made very different kinds of books. So we didn't get a chance to work together. I was writing books that didn't have any illustrations, like Princess Academy.
Yes. And I always wanted to work with Shannon, but I thought I was only going to ever get to draw her covers because that was the only way I was going to get to do it because I do picture books. And by the time I'd met Shannon, I think I'd done about 50 picture books already. And now it's somewhere over 120. I think it's 128 is now the number that I've reached at. But yeah, so
Incredible.
we really did not think that we were ever going to get to work together because, just never the twain shall meet, I guess. Oops.
But eventually, with my husband, I wrote a book called The Princess in Black. And there was one illustrator that I wanted more than anything in the world to illustrate The Princess in Black, my very first illustrated chapter book series. And I wanted it to be LeUyen Pham, but I knew I couldn't have her because everybody wanted to work with LeUyen Pham. She's so busy. She was having to say, no, I can't. Everybody wants me, but no one can have me because I'm so busy. And then what happened?
Oh, brother. So what really happened was that I was walking. I remember exactly where it was. I was walking through the streets of New York, going from one publishing house to another, having, chatting up with my editors. And I get a phone call from my agent. And my agent says, Wynn, I know you're busy, but I was thinking I'm going to send you a story and it's written by Shannon Hale. And immediately I said, yes, whatever it is. Yes. I didn't even look at it. I didn't ask what it was. I genuinely thought it was a cover for one of her books. And I thought that's the only way I'm ever going to get to work with Shannon Hale is to do a cover. So I said, yes, hung up with her. Within, I want to say 10, 15 minutes, I get a phone call from Shannon.
Wait, I can't believe you said yes. I'm so excited. And then she said, yeah, what is it? Like, you don't even know what it is. It's the Princess in Black. I said, it's the Princess in Black. She's a princess who fights monsters, a superhero who fights monsters. And she said, oh, good. I can do that.
I can do. Little did I know that, of course, it was a 100-page book and that we were going to do 8 of them and probably 2 more at least, and probably for the rest of our lives, and probably graphic novels. And basically, I became Shannon and Dean Hale's permanent drawing monkey for the rest of
No, equal collaborator.
There you go. Collaborator is the better word for that. But it's so much fun, and I love drawing the monsters. And so long as they keep coming up with funny monsters, I can keep drawing it for them for sure.
We also do this series, the Friends series. These are graphic novels, so they have even more illustrations than Princess in Black.
Look who's on the cover of those books. There's like the same girl on each cover. Who could that possibly be? It's not me. My hair's not red, huh? I'm wondering here. Is it Shannon? Is the book?
It's me. These books are memoirs. These are true stories about me growing up and having struggles with friendship. And I wrote them and Wynn illustrated them. So that's a second series that we do together. And now we get to do Kitty Corn. We have so many ideas and so many things we want to do. And we feel like superheroes with our superpowers because everybody has a superpower. And my superpower is writing. What's yours, Wynn?
Mine is drawing and flying. No drawing, just drawing.
Mine is writing and laser eyes.
Oh, laser eyes are good. I wish I had laser eyes. But, well, we have practically laser eyes because look what we were able to make with our laser eyes. This is cute. And I think our mandate for this book was just to draw the cutest thing and come up with the funniest, sweetest story we possibly could. And I think we got pretty close to it, I would say, with this book. What do you think?
I am so happy with it. It's just joy, joy, joy for me. Should we read it to him?
Let's read the book. Ready? We recorded it so that we could sit back and relax and enjoy the story with you. So here we go.
Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn. Kitty thinks she might be a unicorn. A horn sits atop her fuzzy head, pointing up, up, up to the sky. She feels so perfectly unicorny. Look at me, says Kitty.
You're not a unicorn, Putty Pie,
says Parakeet.
You're curled up like a cat, Fluffy Fry,
says Gecko. Kitty stands tall. She prances on her pod-clawed unicorn hooves. She gallops on her eensy-weensy unicorn legs. Look at me, says Kitty.
You're still not a unicorn, Fuzzy Hiney,
says Parakeet.
You have a stubby tail, Teeny Tiny,
says Gecko. Kitty closes her eyes. She concentrates and poof! Her tail puffs up fat. Look at me, says Kitty.
You're never going to be a unicorn, Funny Foo,
Says Parakeet.
You meow in your sleep, Miffy Moo,
Says Gecko. Nay, says Kitty. She sticks her pink nose in their ears in case they didn't hear. Nay, nay, nay,
You're a cat.
says Parakeet.
And that's that.
Says Gecko. Still, Kitty's unicorn heart beats harder. She lifts her front hoof and sweeps her magnificent tail. The sun is low. The shadows are long. At last, she looks exactly how she feels. Ha ha! Look at me now! She yells.
Wow,
Says Parakeet, astonished.
Ooh,
Says Gecko, impressed. Finally, they see me, thinks Kitty.
Until clop, clop, clop.
Gecko points with his fat-tipped finger.
Now that's a unicorn.
The unicorn brandishes his horn. He sweeps his magnificent tail. He neighs a mighty
Nay.
Suddenly, Kitty feels no bigger than a ball of lint.
Flop, flop, flop.
Pardon me,
Says Unicorn. Yes, squeaks Kitty.
I so admire your fuzzy ears and silver whiskers, says Unicorn.
You do? Says Kitty.
And I wondered,
Unicorn looks right and then looks left.
did you know?
What? Says Kitty.
Did you know?
Says Unicorn, whispering now. What? What? Yells Kitty.
Did you know
Says Unicorn.
that I am a kitty-corn?
Kitty gasps. Her tiny tail twitches with joy. Yes, says Kitty. I see that now. You are a kitty corn. You are a fuzzy, furry, adorable kitty corn. Unicorn nods.
I knew that another kitty-corn like you would see.
Yes, says Kitty. I see you.
Kitty and Unicorn are both kitty-corns.
Kitty trots on her soft, teeny paws, and Unicorn pads on his huge golden hooves.
They both like to toss their manes and brandish their horns.
They both like to scamper after bumblebees and stretch out in a patch of grass.
And when the sun is low, their shadows merge till you can no longer tell one from the other.
And that's it.
It's such a sweet story. And it's a story about best friends that are written by two best friends as they sat side by side in St. Louis.
Yeah, insane. I feel like we have to write a song or something about that because it just sounds right.
I know. It's so great.
Corn
It
and
started there. It didn't finish. I mean, it took us, several more months.
Yeah,
But that's where she was born.
that was where she was born. But we set up the rules for her there. I remember. I remember we said because she was not meant to be a book. And in fact, at the time, she wasn't even a she yet. It was just an it. It was not meant to be a book. And we were sort of just having fun with each other and hanging out. And it was just this little precious thing between the two of us. Like everything that Shannon and I make gets bought somehow, like there's nothing we make that's all our own. And this was one thing that just stayed in this little space between the two of us for a while. And our goal was just to keep it between us. And we were only going to work on her when we were in the same room. We were only going to work on her if we were sitting side by side. The whole reason why Kitty Corn looks the way she does is because Shannon was literally sitting there like a 3-year-old child next to me. Bigger eyes, bigger, fuzzier, bigger this. And I was just trying to catch up with her. And I think the way the story turned out was because I kept saying, no, it's got to has to have this, and this beat's got to happen here, and this has got to happen here. So we were very much just doing it together just to have fun. And I think that's why this book for me is really, really special. It's just a different book.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It was such a joy. And we really didn't think it would become a book that we would sell. But once we made it, Even it wasn't even in color. When sketched out each page just in sketches in black and white, it was so sweet that I just kept having to read it to everybody, that my kids and then their friends and then my nieces and nephews and anybody stopped by. I was like, sit down, let me open my laptop and read you this book. And everyone just loved it so much that eventually we thought she needs to join the whole world.
And I'm gonna draw in a little bit, but because this is St. Louis, I was showing it to the school this morning. I'm gonna show you guys that actual first drawing of a kitty corn that I did when we were in the coffee shop for the first time. And it is here. Can you see her? Sorry, it's on the iPad screen.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, that's what it was. We were just sitting there, and that was the drawing that I turned around and showed to Shannon. And she's changed a lot, but what's funny was that Shannon was saying, maybe not pink, maybe let's try like some different colors. And so I tried blue, and then blue we weren't so sure about. And then we thought, hey, let's try more of a natural looking color. And then I drew this. And then right after St. Louis, we went to Toronto, and we were visiting some friends of mine. And these friends of mine have these two really cool young sons, these teenage boys. And we asked them, which one do you like the best? And without hesitation, they both pointed to the pink kitty and said, kitty, pink. Pink is cool. Pink is the one. So that was it. So she was born in St. Louis. Oh, I can't believe that. All right. I think it's time to draw.
Let's draw. Do you guys want to learn how to draw kitty corn? This is my favorite part. We've been doing this our whole virtual tour, and I have been learning how to draw kitty corn. So if you have any paper at all, you can use pencil as long as you don't use the eraser, because we don't want to worry about mistakes or doing perfect. So just the pencil tip, pen, marker, crayon, whatever you have.
And yeah, I don't believe in mistakes in art at all. I believe that everything you do, you got to keep. And my major advice is for all of you young artists out there, to throw away your erasers and to draw as often as you can in markers and in pens, because that way you keep every single line you do. And a really amazing sketchbook is one where the first drawing is just filled with all these mistakes and lines, and the last drawing is just filled with everything that you've learned. So the first drawing and the last drawing, you can actually see how much you've grown over that time. The most boring sketchbooks are the ones where the first drawing and the last drawing look exactly the same. Maybe they're all fabulous, but if you look and the book hasn't changed at all during any of that time, then no matter how fabulous it is, you didn't get any better as an artist. So you got to make mistakes to actually get better as an artist. That's my motto in a nutshell. Okay. But let's get to this. I want to teach you guys how to draw kitty corn so that you too can go off and write stories about kitty corn. So you got yourself a piece of paper. Everyone's got paper. Shannon is going to be doing this too.
I'm going to be doing it too. You bet.
We show the drawings at the end, and she's getting so good at it that seriously, by the time this tour is over, she's going to be illustrating the books by herself, and I'm going to take a vacation. Okay. Kitty corn is nothing but one big, huge, huge head. She's all about the head. So on your piece of paper, as wide as you can possibly make it, you're going to draw a big old oval. And you can draw it fairly light, because in a little bit, you're going to put a lot of fuzz around it to give her the fuzz of the kitty. So you're going to draw an oval that's almost from end to end like that. And once you've got the shape of her head, you're going to start to draw her eyes. And her eyes are these big flat discs of black, like this. If you've got a marker or a pencil, just go ahead and color it in like that. There's one eye there, and there's one eye here, like that. See, if I was there in person, if we were there in person, we would be doing this up in front of you guys on a board, and it would be so much cooler because I just like watching your faces when I do this. It's harder to do it when I'm just, looking into the camera. And Shannon doesn't look at me all the time, so I can't. No, I'm just joking. All right, here's the eyeballs. And then you're going to have to make cat's eyes. And cats have those sharp little divots at each of the corner of their eyes. So it's going to be right here in the corner. You're going to draw sort of this little dot, a long, thin dot. And then same thing on the other side. And same thing on this eye and this eye. And those are important to do because it will really help your cat look like a cat. Then you're going to connect those lines like that. And thicken it up if you possibly can. And same thing on the bottom. Connect and connect. Like that. All right. So there's one eye. Look, she's already looking like a little bit of a kitty corn. And then we're going to do the other eye. Same thing. You're just going to connect the lines. And thicken them up. Actually, the thing that I'm really sad about is usually when I do these drawings, I give them away afterwards. And now I have like a week's worth of kitty corn drawings all over the house, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. I wish I could just mail them off. And then on the bottom, like that. So everybody got that so far? If you're drawing, I hope you're drawing this along. So there's her little eyes. Look, she's already so cute. So right in between her eyes, you're going to put her little pink nose. And her nose is just an upside down triangle. And it goes right between the eyes. A little round pink triangle like that. Underneath that, at the tip of the triangle, you're going to make a little line down. And right where the line down goes, you're going to make a round W. Steph, I hope you're drawing this too, because I want to see your drawing afterwards. All right, there's the little mouth, but now we've got to draw the whole muzzle. The muzzle of the kitty goes round, round, and then the little mouth underneath. Like that. Okay, now where do kitty corn's ears go? Right at the center of her eye, if you were to make a line that went straight up, that is where her ear is going to start. So you're going to make a rather large triangle that's rounded out like that. Like that. Same thing on the other side. Straight line up, make a little dot, and the same triangle on the other side. Like that. And then inside those triangles, you're going to make a smaller triangle for the inside of her ear. And that one you can color in. Like that. Same thing on the other side. Like that. Look, you've already got her face. At this point, if you want to, you can add all the fuzz around her face, because according to Shannon, she is the fuzziest little kitty in the world.
Fuzzier! Make her fuzzier!
I think Shannon's descriptions are so funny. They were just, make her a little pink powder puff. Make her so poofy that you want to squish her up to your face. Things like that.
With my 10-year-old, actually, earlier today, we made up a new word for her. She's a fluff muffin.
Oh, sweet. That's why she's the writer. That's why she's the writer. I couldn't come up with that myself. Okay. Lots of little fur all over her face. Off the fluff muffin. Okay. Now, kitty corn, the nice thing about kitty corn, she's actually pretty easy to draw because she is just a whole bunch of simple shapes. Her body, her impossibly small body that could never hold the weight of her head, is a triangle. That was Shannon too, by the way. It's a little round triangle. So imagine a tiny little triangle at the bottom, like this. And at the ends of those little lines, you're going to make her rounded paws, which are basically like a C on one side, and then a C on the other side. Those are her little paws on the back. So she's sitting with her paws up. Now we're going to draw her forepaws. She's going to be sitting with her forepaws right in front of her. So you're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 little lines for where her paws go, like that. And then you're going to make a little sideways C for the paws, like that. And then to turn those little paws into actual kitty paws, we're going to do a couple things. In the front paws, you're going to make a little dot right about here. And then you're going to turn that into a curved line to show that separation between the cat's toes. So there's 1, 2, And then on the other toe, same thing in the other direction. 1 and 2. So now you've got the cat's little separated paws. And then now we're going to draw the pads on her back paws because her feet are sort of sticking up. And the pads are really simple shapes as well. It's a little flat oval that you can color in. And then 3 circles on top. 1, 2, 3. And then same thing on the other side. A rounded oval. And 1, 2, 3. Like that. Go ahead and add some fuzz because, again, she's fuzzy. And then, of course, we have to put her tail in the back. And her tail is a little fluffy lump right back there. And just add lots and lots of hair. So now we've got a little kitty. She's really cute.
And whiskers.
I always forget the whiskers. You're right. And the whiskers, she's got 6 whiskers, 3 on each side. A long one, a short one, and a long one. And then the same thing on the other side. A long one, a short one, and a long one. There's her little whiskers. And then to turn Kitty into Kitty Corn, which I can't be because my unicorn horn fell off, we need to draw her little horn on the top. And the horn goes right on the top like this. It's a taller, thin triangle. Goes right on the top of her head, like that. And then you just add the swirly stripes across. And then you have Kitty Corn.
She's so sweet every time.
She is cute. All right, let me see yours. I gotta see
Okay.
yours.
I don't have a lot of confidence. I don't have any confidence in my drawing ability. And something I'm trying with Win is to not worry about perfection.
Oh!
So I was trying different little body shapes and I don't know, little variations so that I'm not just copying, you know, that I've done it a few times. But I have something to show you. So today we did a school visit this morning and at a school that's a Title I school. And my heart's just so full that our publisher and Novel Neighbor working with a nonprofit was able to get all the kindergartners and first graders books for this school. Anyway, when we were at this school, we were drawing. One of the questions from one of the kids was, what would happen if Kitty went up a tree? And we were talking about how, you know, cats get stuck in trees because their claws go this way so they can climb up, but they can't climb back down. So I wrote a little story after the school visit.
You did not.
So can you see it?
Yes.
So it says Kitty climbed a tree. And then let's see. Kitty got stuck. And then here she is. Meow. And then I hear you, said Unicorn.
Oh my God, Shannon.
Isn't that sweet?
Shannon could do her own book all alone. She doesn't even need me. That's amazing. Good. I like that a lot. What's funny is it's exactly what I pictured this morning when you were describing the story.
Yeah. It was in a little Insta story. And it was so funny. The school visit was over and I really had other things I needed to do, but I had folded that piece of paper and the idea was in my head and I was sitting down and I still had my pencil and I was like, I guess I gotta write this book.
Well, and Shannon, I have to tell you, I walked in to my house and because you shared some fun facts about squirrels during this visit. And I walked into a conversation that my husband was having with his coworkers over breaking a tooth. And I was like, did you know that squirrels after
their teeth just keep growing. You break a tooth, another one's going to grow in. No worries.
Which for everyone watching, yes, that's a fact about squirrels, right? Like I guess, squirrels can like crunch a lot in their mouth.
Yes. So
right?
Humans have a bite, our jaw, for most people, our jaw is the strongest muscle in our body, depending on how you define strength and other things, because actually the uterine muscles are the strongest, according to some measurements. Anyway, the jaw, just going to give a shout out to the uterus, jaw was the strongest muscle in the body. It's anatomy, guys. And humans can bite with the bite strength of 250 pounds per square inch per square inch psi, and squirrels can bite with 10,000 pounds. So 250 versus 10,000. That's amazing. Like squirrels can like chew through. They can chew through steel, I think.
No, they can't.
Depending on their how much their teeth can hold up. Yeah,
Wow.
they could destroy us all if they wanted to. It's good that they're fuzzy and sweet.
So squirrels grow back their teeth, and so do sharks. Are they the only animals that grow back their teeth?
Well, sharks are different. They've got extra teeth, but like squirrels are like rabbits that their front teeth just keep growing. They're like fingernails, you know?
Huh. So then, do they have to keep like? I don't know why we're talking about squirrels.
Yes, they have to keep. If they don't, so sometimes like squirrels or if people have rabbits in captivity and they're not given a chance to eat the kind of things that kind of file down their teeth, and their teeth can grow too long and they can't open their mouths. So they have to keep biting things and chewing on things to keep healthy teeth.
That's weird. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Rabbit facts.
Okay, we're good. All right.
Well, and I learned for Marvel fans, Squirrel Girl, which is your book, right?
Yes.
Squirrel Girl defeats Thanos.
She does.
Like in the comic series, which was news to me as somebody who has not read a lot of the comics, but has.
Yes, it's canon. She's the only superhero who has single-handedly defeated Thanos. I mean, she probably had squirrel friends helping out, but she was the superhero. Yep. So that's why for Marvel fans, if you watched Infinity War and Endgame, that's why she wasn't in Infinity War, because the movie would have been really short.
She would have taken care of it and it would have been fine. I mean, I just felt like I learned so much about squirrels today. Squirrel Girl, squirrels,
We are here for your animal facts.
Corn, though.
Usually Wynn is the one giving us animal facts, like her gecko. Do you want to tell them about your gecko?
So the gecko in the book is a little orange gecko, and it's actually based on my real gecko. My son has a gecko named Kumquat. I would take her out, but she's kind of sleeping right now, and last time she nearly leapt off my shoulder. But she looks exactly like that, and people keep asking me, what's the thing on her tail? And the truth is that healthy geckos in the wild have a little lump on their tail that's almost the same size as their head. And the reason for that lump is that in the wild, predators come after the gecko and they shake their tail, making it seem like it's their head. The predator goes for the tail drops off, and the gecko is able to get away. So if you have a gecko with a lump on its tail, that means it's a very healthy, well-fed gecko that has never had a predator come after it, just like ours, and it's just filled with fat. It's this little fat thing that is on its tail.
Like a camel lump.
Yes, and it's very, very cute for that. But yes, she could probably really whack somebody if she wanted to with it. She looks like a little stegosaurus with it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just rife with animal facts. You want to know more?
We got animal facts. You want them?
We could go for hours on these animal facts, right? We learned so much today, especially in comparing. Well, because you always get asked are we doing any animal changes this year?
Oh, let's do an animal change. Yeah.
All right, I have. Hang on a second. I think I printed it.
So if you buy one of these books from the Novel Neighbor, they have swag bags. They're the most amazing swag bags. It comes free with the book while supplies last. And there are these custom posters that Wynn made. They're so amazing. There's crayons and a balloon and a signed book plate. And what else is there? There's more. But anyway, one of the things they have are these printouts of activities. Oh yeah, the unicorn horn and ears. Yes. And there's also these printouts of activities that Wynn and I made, and she's drawn these beautiful animals. And what you can do is decide what animal this animal. So Kitty is a cat who's also a unicorn, and Unicorn is a unicorn who's also a cat. So you can take these animals and decide what other animal does this animal want to be, and you can draw on it and combine it. And Wynn's going to give us an example right now.
So wait, which one do you guys want to do? Because I have available the elephant, the octopus, the pug dog, and the dolphin.
We haven't done the dolphin yet. Should we do the dolphin?
All right, let's try the dolphin.
We did
turn the dolphin into an animal. So what do you guys want to throw at me? What kind of animal should we turn?
Is there anybody in the chat answering? If you could type up in the chat an animal if you have an idea.
This dolphin has always wanted to be another animal. What other animal has this dolphin wanted to be in his heart of hearts? What is he truly? Does anyone have an idea?
So someone in the chat is wondering if a dolphin wanted to be a gecko. Speaking of our
Oh, what a cute idea.
Okay, hold on a second. Now I got to get my gecko thing all going. Hold on. The geckos.
Oh, wow. Someone else said, oh, wow, we have some fun. So there's also, so maybe take your pick. We have a couple of them. We have a suggestion for a kangaroo, a gecko, a sloth, or an armadillo.
Wow.
So we have some great choices this evening. So,
Oh, an armadillo could be interesting.
It's certainly got a lovely back shape for it.
I know. And
I guess an armadillo doesn't get a lot of love.
I don't think so either. We could also turn the pug dog into an armadillo. Want to do that?
Oh, should we do the pug as an armadillo and the dolphin as kumquat, the gecko?
Oh, all right, let's try that because I think I want to do an armadillo regardless. And in fact, I now want to do an armadillo for the kitty corn series. We got to get an armadillo in there.
I would love to see a kitty corned armadillo. I'm here for it.
All right, so let me see. Kumquat. So I'm trying to think of our little kumquat. Our kumquat. So the first of all is like their eyes are a little more on the sides of their heads. So this is going to be a dolphin that's going to put eyes on the sides of his head. Ready? Like this is going to be sort of cosplay dolphin here. So we'll do a big old eye in the top of his head, and he's going to have it on like with a band because it's a band. This one's definitely cosplay. Like that. I just love drawing these on the top of the head because it reminds me of Kermit the Frog, and Kermit the Frog is always so cute. And then he's going to be smiling like Kermit the Frog. There we go. So that's going to be the eyes on the top of his head. And then we're going to do, let's see, he's got the problem with the gecko is that it's got like a narrow neck and then a big fat body, which I can't do for the dolphin. But what I can do is we're going to convert this into a healthy looking kumquat or a healthy looking gecko by taking his tail and giving it that big round shape.
And there are spots. That might help too, the spots on the back.
But I want to give him like the little padded feet with a little
little fat-tipped finger.
The fat-tipped fingers, exactly. And I really like drawing these fat-tipped fingers because they're basically little circles that you go like this one.
That copy editor every time was like, that fat-tipped finger doesn't make sense. That's incorrect grammar. And I was like, everybody knows exactly what I'm saying when I say that. Stet. And then she'd come back again and say, no, you can't say. I'm like, I'm still going to say it. Everybody knows what it means. Stet.
I didn't know what a fat-tipped
It was, the copy editors are the most amazing people ever, but they're real sticklers for rules. And I just, sometimes language is about communication, not rules.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's nice.
That's a tweet.
There's like.
Oh, that's great.
And then, should we just give the 2 or should we add some more on the bottom?
Oh, I think just the 2 is good. It's because it's that combo, right?
And then we're going to have spots on the back because it's a gecko, or because it's a leopard gecko. Like that.
Oh, look how happy that dolphin is. That dolphin just feels good. Good in the gecko. Being both a gecko and a dolphin. So what do we call it? A dolco or a geffen?
Ooh, a geffen. A geckin? No, a geffen. A geffen. I like a geffen.
Geffen? That's cute.
Yeah, a geffen. Geephin.
The gecko dolphin is already getting love in the chat.
Oh.
People are very attached. We're already into it.
No, I was just about to look up a reference armadillo for you, but then before I do that, I need to show you that what I was looking for was the picture of us in St. Louis.
That's us. I have that one too.
So that's the day that we first came up with kitty corn, and our very nice escort drove us to the arch because you'd never seen it before.
No, so is the date on there too?
Yeah, it is September 17th, 2019. So we know her birthday.
birthday is September 17th, 2019. Wow.
And then the next day we were in Boston, I know, because there's a picture of us at that Boston
Yes.
museum.
Library, I think it was.
And look, who's that?
Who is that? I can't
Oh,
see.
wait a minute. Never mind. That's a different town. Sorry.
All right. We're going back. I don't need a picture of an armadillo, lady. I'm a professional. I can do this. Okay, ready? Challenge accepted.
It's so creepy how well she can do this, though. It just freaks me out.
So before we turn this into a pugdillo, maybe,
Ooh, I like that.
It's nice.
this in and of itself, this puppy might be making an appearance in a future book, question mark?
Yes, because Wynn drew these pictures just for the activity book for the swag bag. But when she did that pug, both of us went, oh, and that's it. The pug just spoke to us.
Yes.
So I think there's going to be a puppy corn or something. We have not decided yet. This would actually be like book 4. We already have book 2 and 3 figured out. So it's just down the line. But
it's got to show up. I didn't know.
our publisher doesn't even know we're thinking about a book 4, frankly. So we'll see how that goes. But
I know. No.
Sorry, not
well, it'll exist whether it's published or not, because that's how Wynn and I roll.
That's
Exactly.
cool. You know, even if they don't publish it, we're going to write it anyway and then just give it to ourselves.
That's right.
You guys can sign up for the mailing list then. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Armadillo. So the armadillo. So the reason actually I know why an armadillo is because I used to work in animation, and I worked on a movie called the El Dorado, the Lost City of El Dorado. And there was an armadillo in the movie. And I was in layout, so I wasn't really allowed to draw it, but I would draw it every single time I had the opportunity because I really loved the back of the armadillo. So the back of the armadillo is this. It's like, it's got this sort of like, what are those little insects called? Those roly-polies? It's got like a roly-poly kind of feel in the back, like that. It just looks like armor on an animal, which I think is just so cool.
It's like plate mail.
Like plate mail, exactly. Thank you, Shannon, who knows everything about it. Okay, plate mail. Like this.
Oh, look at that.
All the way down like this. And then
Yeah, it is something very insectoid about it, isn't it?
Yes. And then it's got spots on it, like little dots.
Oh,
The rough sort of.
yeah. See, I could not have pulled that from my memory. The fact that you just know that is amazing.
I can remember that one. I can also draw the peregrine falcon, but we're not going to do that. Okay. And then, all right, and then that, and let's see, the armadillo, well, we can't really do much with that. But it has a longer tail than the pug dog, but I'm going to give it a twist at the end because pug dogs do have that sort of twisted little tail at the end.
So it's a combo armadillo pug tail.
Puggo? It's a puggo. Exactly. A combo. And then the ears, actually, we think, they have very, very small ears, so we're not going to be able to do very much for the ears. And then they actually have a little bit more of an extended nose. I don't know. I want to kind of keep the pug nose just as it is because it's really cute the way it is. And then I can't think of any other distinguishing feature it would have other than that it's got sort of claws on the end, like that.
I think that's great.
There you go. Maybe I should add a little bit more armor to the top of its head,
Ooh.
like that. It looks like
Look how happy that pug is with its armadillo self.
And when he closes himself up, he's going to look like this. I can draw like the separate, of course I do. And he's going to be quite the happy little pug dog. Oh my God, we really, really, really have to do a pug dog book. I don't know what to do about this because he's just so much fun to draw.
He is. He's got such personality immediately.
Yeah.
Pugdillo is a vibe. Pug on its own is a vibe. Pugdillo is third.
Yes. Oh, hooray. I love Pugdillo.
Pugdillo is ready to take on 2021. That's what I get from
Yes.
that picture.
Yes. Pugdillo's not afraid. And sometimes if Pugdillo gets overwhelmed, Pugdillo rolls in a ball and that everything's just going to roll right off it. That's cool.
Turn into a ball.
It's cool.
That's good. That's good. Wow, I have a lot. And this whole week, we've actually been drawing a bunch of little animals. Look, we turned an elephant into a dragon.
Whoa, we didn't see that one earlier. That's awesome.
Fire breathing even.
Turned an octopus into a puppy.
Yeah, I love that puppapus.
Well, and Shannon, you're pretty keen on octopi in general.
Octopus is that just like the most amazing? Like if you haven't seen any videos of an octopus like changing, camouflaging, moving along, they move in so many different ways across the ocean floor.
Yeah.
They swim real fast, but then they also use their tentacles and like crawl. It's amazing. And then they get on something and they immediately change. I don't know how they do it. It's unbelievable.
Did you guys ever hear that story of what happened in Australia at the Australian aquarium? Sorry, again, we're going into animal facts here. But there was this aquarium mystery where this one big aquarium that was filled with lovely tropical fish were disappearing, like just disappearing from the tank. And they couldn't figure out what was happening to them. Were they getting sucked up into the filtration system? They didn't know. So they set up a camera thinking maybe they could see it was something that was happening at night. What was happening was this. On the other side of the fish, of the tropical fish, was the octopus aquarium. And the octopus, you know how they can get through holes like teeny, teeny, tiny, and they can just squeeze their whole body through? The octopus was going through the filter system into the pipes below, traveling under the ground into the other filtration system, coming up, eating the fish, and then coming back down through the filtration and going back into its little...
That octopus is amazing. And going back home again, like it knew it would get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like a kid stealing cookies from a cookie jar, would say you can have one and they have 10.
Yep.
This is the octopus.
There you go. So octopuses are octopuses. I don't know. They're pretty amazing. I like them.
Yeah, if you're not on your radar as a favorite animal, they got to get on there. That's what I learned.
Top 5. I mean, it's just a clear top 5.
Top 5.
All right. Do we have any questions?
We do have questions. We do.
Let's do
I'm so glad you asked. Well, first, we have something that I think we definitely need to highlight for our friends who are watching. And that is, Kelly let us know that the last time you were in St. Louis, her daughter said that she got to hug you when you came to her school. And she loved meeting both of you so much. And so even though now she's actually aged out of Itty-Bitty kitty corn, she's going to purchase one just so she can get the personalized illustration, which I think is the perfect segue to talk about this like awesome thing that you're offering, Wynn, because it's so cool and so special. And I want to make sure that we tell families that this is available tonight. So what did you put on your social media?
Yeah, so I put this out because, so we've been touring for the past week, and I'm trying to figure out why, like, it's been tough for us to kind of tour. And there's just something, it feels like something's just kind of missing. And I know it's because we miss being there with people. And for me personally, one of the big things about me, and I've been doing this since the beginning of my career, is every single time I sign a book, and if I'm there in the store, I try to do a drawing of the person that I'm dedicating the book to. Sometimes the line goes out the door. Sometimes it's just 3 people, but I don't care how many people are in line. I will always try to do a drawing. And I've realized that in the past year, I haven't done a single drawing of anybody. And it's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. And so I couldn't take it anymore. And I think a couple nights ago, I put an Instagram blast out and a Facebook blast out saying, look, we're on tour. I'm doing this anyway. I'm going to be signing books. Here are the bookstores that we're touring. If you buy a book with them, then I will do a special drawing for you as though we were there in the store so that I don't have to miss another year of drawing your kids. So if you can get on Instagram or even on Facebook, and on Instagram, I'm at Win, Lose, or Draw, but Win is spelled U-Y-E-N, lose or draw. Find me, DM me, send me a direct message, and send me a photo of your child or whoever it is that you're buying the book for, and I will do a drawing of that kid to put into the book. And if you can wait until Friday, I'm going to do all the drawings by Friday, and then I'm going to send all the drawings at the same time to the 6 or 7 bookstores that I put listed on my Instagram feed. So if you do that, if you buy a book tonight, send a photo, not to the store. You got to send it to me because the store won't know what to do with it. Send it to me on Instagram. I will start doing the drawings as soon as I get them and then mail them off to you, and you will have them with your massive kitty corn package just to say, especially for St. Louis, you guys are pretty, I've got to do it for you guys for sure. So, so please take advantage because I really, really do miss drawing kids. And The ones that I've gotten so far, Shannon, you haven't gotten to see who buys our books. They're so cute.
Oh,
Faces, and I was like, it's such a thing for me that people come back, and now I've been doing it for long enough. People come back and get like second time or third time. So I draw the same kids like over and over and over again, and I get to see them growing over time. And that's actually a really, really cool thing for me to be able to experience.
she's so amazing that she does it. Nobody else does this. I remember one time in Toronto, our driver was there. We were going to miss our flight. I was like, Wynn, I don't think you can. We still have like 15 people on the line. I don't think you can draw them all. And you were like, I have to. She was like, and she did, and we ran, but we made our flight. But I want to make one quick thing. That person had said that someone had grown out of picture books. I just have to say, don't ever grow out of picture books.
What, Kelly? What are you thinking?
Adults, allow yourself. We have this weird thing in the United States. It's like specifically this country that you have to grow out of books with pictures. And picture books are so beautiful, and they're the most beautiful. You know how hard it is to take something complex and simplify it? It's way harder than writing like a novel about it. It's an art form, and I hope that adults, no matter how old you are, you don't let yourself grow out of picture books.
That, and honestly, I feel like lately adults need to read picture books way more than kids do, because there are some simple, super amazing truths that kids totally get, but that for whatever reason adults have forgotten. To be kind, to think of other people, to be like any message that children's books have. I don't know why adults are just forgetting those lessons. And so I think adults really need this book more than kids do, to be honest. So Kelly, the book is just right for you. Don't let anyone tell you any differently.
We have a clarification. Kelly is the mom, and she would like it to be known that she loves and still buys picture books. But Claire, I think, is currently feeling... But maybe Claire will come back to picture.
Come back, Claire. Yeah. Come back to the joy of picture books.
Oh, the beautiful, happy joy. It's nice.
Do you remember one of my favorite things? When I was in high school, I had a math teacher, and math was my toughest subject. And he would read us picture books. And he was known for the math teacher who would read us picture books. And I tell you, he would read the picture book to the teenagers, and the room would just calm. And we were to be read aloud to and look at the pictures. And then math was easier when we after the picture book. You're never too old.
You're never too old. Look at us. We're doing books still.
I know, and we're like 32.
Exactly. Getting younger every year.
Speaking of picture books, we do have a question in the chat you mentioned that you have books 2 and 3 thought out.
Yes.
Maybe. Is there anything that you can tease us with about those future picture book Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn adventures?
Should I read something? I have read something before. So it's hard to explain why this means anything. We don't want to give away the whole story. But there is some discussion in book 2 about unicorn's rear end.
She's got to read this, because there's a really cool story behind why she wrote it, and I'm not sure when she's ever going to get the opportunity to do it. I'm sure we're going to make a poster out of it, but
yes, this is not going in the book. That's why I feel like I can read it. But I'm not going to read all of it.
It would be nice.
But there is an issue with unicorn, and unicorn is perfect, and beautiful, magnificent, and has this rear end. So when I was writing the words, I was working on the words for book 2. Wynn and I were working on it, and I repeated the word bomb, and she was saying there's so many great words for bomb, and other words like patootie and caboose and hiney, and I was like, oh, you're so right. I don't see a place to use that in here. But that's the thing with working with Wynn. When you're working with your friend, you just want to please your friend. So I spent at least a week's worth of work writing a poem, Ode to Unicorn's Bum, that will never be in the book. I'm not going to read it all. It's too long. It's an epic poem.
It's epic.
So I'll just read you this stanza. To speak with candidness about his gluteus maximus is faintly scandalous, quite nearly blasphemous. I am dubious that the pallidness can be anything short of fabulous, but I'm studious of its milkiness and find the size miraculous. And then at one point, he gets some red paint on his bum. So here's another stanza about that. there's quite a lot of stanzas about that. Let's see. We can't do justice to those buttocks drenched in buckets of red ruckus. Just trust us, they're lustrous, a robust ruby tuckus. This is not a rhyming picture book, by the way.
I just want it to be known that I am prepared to declare today that that is better than the Odyssey. Like in terms of epic poems,
Eat your heart out, Homer.
Yeah, I am all in. I cannot be clearer. Thank you for sharing that with us. And like truly, that needs to. I don't know. Is that like a parent note in the back or something? It needs to be.
I doubt it will be anywhere inside the book, but maybe we'll do like something silly giveaway with like a poster with pieces of the poem on it. I don't know. We haven't thought about it.
Forever in my heart. That's what I can say. It's forever in my heart moving forward. Okay, some other questions that we've gotten in the chat are, what are you dying to make a book about that you haven't done yet?
Well, you know, I don't want to say too much about this, but Wynn and I have a plan that there's a certain genre that neither of us have worked in yet that we both discovered that we love.
Yeah.
And so we want to make a book together that is part novel, part illustrated book, that it's unlike anything that either of us have ever done.
Yes.
So, but I don't want to say what genre it is.
Yeah, we don't want to say, but it'll be cool. It won't be something that you will have ever expected from either of us.
Yes.
And we're free to guess. I mean, you know, people can start to speculate at the genre, right?
Absolutely. I mean, blink one for yes and two for no. But I mean, we've done a lot of different stuff. I've done murder mystery and romantic comedy and sci-fi and fantasy and memoir, and you know, I've done so many. So it's like you could probably just list the genres I've done and be like, which ones are not represented?
It's not there. Well, and that was actually a question for you. What is it like to switch between, because you know, we've talked pretty extensively tonight about like the amount of different genres that you've written and the different ages that you've written for. And so do you find it harder to write a picture book, or like what is different about writing a picture book compared to some of the other books that you have written or collaborated on? And that can be for both of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wynn is the master of picture books. I mean, she's written so many and illustrated 128. So, I mean, she's the genius of it. I'm the newbie for sure. And I've attempted to written picture books over the years, but they are there's a very specific rhythm, a very specific kind of story that works with it. And anything I wrote just wasn't cutting the mustard.
I think what was funny about working on this with Shannon was, you know, because she was a writer and I'm an illustrator, we solve problems either with writing or with illustration. And so she would say something, well, this should happen in the story. And I would say, that should just be only in the pictures. You don't need to write about that. And Shannon would have the exact opposite. No, that should be only in the writing. You don't need to do the drawings with that. And I think the funny thing about working on this picture book series was, for me, I've done graphic novels now, and I've done itty-bitty board books, and then I've done, you know, like more sophisticated adult sort of stuff. What makes picture books so hard to do, and I think a lot of writers have the wrong idea about picture books, is they think it's the easiest genre. But the truth is, picture books, they're so hard because you actually get stripped of a lot of your powers of using words. You have to minimize the amount of words. And that's not to speak down to kids. That's just to say, like, hone it down to the essence of what it is that you want to say. And that can be really challenging for a lot of people because they want to just use as many words as possible. But I always compare a really well-written picture book to a tree. And if the base of the tree isn't really strong, and those are the words holding up everything, if the base of that tree isn't strong, doesn't matter how beautiful the tree is with all of its leaves and its foliage, it'll just collapse. It won't work without it. And I know I've actually illustrated books where the story was not very strong and I had to just throw on all this extra foliage. But that's the trick with writing picture books. And for when I was working with Shannon on this, that was what we were trying to figure out, was that balance between where the words come in and where the pictures come in. And I think that's why she's better than she thinks she is at this. but I can think of the ideas, and I can't structure the words just right without lots and lots of tries. And Shannon will just sort of come in and just like it just comes out, and it's almost like you get to sort of pick out the loveliest words and the loveliest combinations, and she can always come back and offer more combinations. And I think that's why this one was it was a lot of fun to do in that way. But I think it was harder for a harder genre to write, just because I was basically telling Shannon, like, no, you got to keep cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting until we got just to the basics.
It's very challenging. I mean, and I've written poetry, I've written shorter things, but so I've written a lot of visual storytelling. I've written screenplays and graphic novels, but picture books again are different altogether. They're not cinematic. They're more like poems. Anyway, you do see a lot of people with big egos coming in and thinking, I can write a picture book because they're short and they're for a young audience. And I think part of it is I just have so much respect for the picture book that I didn't want to come in and be like, I can do it because I'm a writer. But one of the things that's so great about this collaboration with LeUyen is that usually, the majority of the time, what happens with picture books, unless the writer and illustrator are the same person, is the writer writes that and revises it with an editor and finishes it all up. And then the editor finds an artist, and the artist and the writer never communicate.
Nope.
And they usually never even meet. And so the writer works with the editor to get the writing done, and then the illustrator works with the editor when they're doing illustrations. But LeUyen and I were cracking the stories side by side, and going back and forth side by side. And I was not being the writer, and she was being my drawing monkey, and I was telling her what to do, or vice versa. We were working together, and I think that's really it's very unusual. It almost never happens. I'm not sure if it's ever happened before us. It probably has, but very rarely. But also, it's you have to have the right relationship. Like, I don't think you could work the way we did with any personality types just thrown together. It's just we happen to be really good friends. We happen to have very similar personality types. We happen to, both of us, like, it's story first, it's kids first, it's not our ego first.
Yeah, no ego. That was it. I could say, hey, maybe that doesn't work, and Shannon would just cut a word, and then Shannon would say, maybe this joke is a little funny if you draw it like this, and then I would just draw it like that. And that's not that easy to do if you've got a personality that's different. So no, and of course it just really helps because you just want to make the other person laugh, like I said, and you want to make them, you really want to please them so badly. Doesn't mean you want to draw what's in their head, but you want to draw something that they'll like, that will make them laugh, and that's a lot of fun to do. So now you guys are all in our heads too. So
are we too chatty? We're not there to like read the audience and like feel your energy and be like, oh, we're losing him, we need to be faster.
Oh, I know. Eating dinner already?
You're so wonderful and so entertaining. And I think it's so wonderful to hear that story, because we often do receive that question during events of like, what is it like to work together? And that's where like authors and illustrators, even if they're doing the event together, kind of have to break the news of like, we actually haven't talked about it until like we were touring, like we don't collaborate until afterwards, and we're kept separate from the process. So it's really helpful to hear that insight into what it's like for the two of you to work together, and really, really special. And I think that even adds to the book, and it comes through for sure. We do have two things. One, there's some speculation in the chat about what genre.
I'm curious what they're guessing. What are they guessing?
Yes. So Jill is thinking that it might be a Western, which I did not get to.
I actually have written a Western. Rapunzel's Revenge.
I'm thinking my first thing, without looking at backlist to compare, was that maybe it was sci-fi.
Because I have written sci-fi.
You have written sci-fi.
Dangerous.
Okay. So I think that we still have nobody in the chat who has
good guesses, though, guys.
Yes. And you've written YA. I know for sure you've written YA.
Yes. But that was not a genre. Yeah, this is a specific genre.
It's not a genre. I'll keep thinking.
Yeah, I've written for every age group. So, except I haven't done a board book.
Oh, you haven't
done a board book? But in terms of genre, I've never had a book turn into a board book.
Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn deserves a board book. I would.
Yeah, Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn may eventually be a board book.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe where's that little thing I just did? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This could be a board book.
Well, and maybe like even like a touch and feel board book where like you get to feel like the cuddliness of kitty corn and like that would really.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, the glittery horn and then the fuzzy fur.
Be very cute. But to also end on a like I think the perfect note, we have a question which we see this often, and I know you have an amazing answer for. What advice do you have for young authors and illustrators who are inspired by Itty-Bitty Kitty Corn or any of your other work and are thinking that maybe they need to start creating their own characters and writing their own characters and putting them down to paper? What advice do you have for them?
I keep thinking that if Shannon and I really do feel like we've known each other forever now. Like, I know that I made that photo up earlier, but it doesn't feel that way sometimes. Like,
yeah.
I really do think if we had met when we were in 4th grade, we would have been writing stories together a million years ago.
Do you know why I think one reason why it feels that way is because of the memoirs, right?
Yeah.
It's because you've spent the last 4 years or whatever inside my head drawing me kindergarten through 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about it, and you naturally share your stories with me about what was going on with you at that age. And it does feel like we now have shared this childhood.
And I think because we're the same age and we just grew up in different parts of the country, but we have like a history like that. So we know when we're talking about 80s stuff, Stephanie, you're too young for us, but like when we're talking about 80s stuff, like we don't have to remind each other what it means. We just know what it is.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is because of that. But I know, like, so go back to the advice, like if you've got a buddy,
yeah,
who happens to have a superpower too, it's really fun to do this with somebody else for sure. Because you can feed off of each other really well, and even at that, it's just someone to sort of get advice from. But I'm going to say for the illustration, for drawing, is just what I was saying before. Like, drawing is one of those things that you can do that anybody can actually do. And I always find it really funny because when we go to speak with kids, if you're kindergarten, 1st grade, like you ask, who's an artist in this group? And everybody raises their hand because of course, everybody's an artist. The minute you get around 3rd, 4th grade, you ask the same question and like only 10 or 15 kids raise their hand. And it's because somewhere between when you were a little kid and when you get around the age of 8 or 9, someone tells you that a drawing can be done wrong. And the minute you think a drawing can be done wrong, that there's a right and a wrong way, you stop doing it. And that kills me. There is no wrong or right way to do a drawing. Like, you get better at drawing by doing it. That's it. You don't even have to go to art school. You just keep doing it every single day and you will get better at it just naturally. And I've been doing drawing every single day since I was about 3 years old. That's how I got good at this. Not because someone sat down and showed me some special trick. I just kept doing it. And that's it. That's the only lesson that you need to know to do it. And then you just have to love doing it, and you have to not be afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes are the best thing. So that's it. Draw all the time. Don't forget to make mistakes. Do it with a buddy if you possibly can, and just keep it for the rest of your life. And, it's a language that everybody knows. No one has to learn it. It's something that you can just, with chalk, with coffee, with like something on the sidewalk, anybody can do it anywhere, anytime, with any object. So
yay. Yes. I concur.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And Jill just said, I love everything about this, and your partnership is inspiring. And I think that everyone watching this would definitely echo that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And before we go, I just want to say, so thank you to the Novel Neighbor. I can't express how important local independent bookstores are. Not only are they the reason why we have events like these free literary events, they also do so much outreach into your community that I'm sure you're not aware of with schools and other programs. They are essential. But also independent bookstores are essential for free speech. Without independent bookstores, what actually gets chosen to be published can be determined by whatever big conglomerate is in charge of selling books. And that stifles free speech. So having lots of individual, independent outlets for books is what guarantees that more people can be published and more diverse voices have a chance. And during all the time, but especially during this year where some people are struggling, we need to be looking after these local places that make our community what it is. And the way we do that is by spending money in their stores. That's the support they need. So we would plead with you, if it's not our book, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, do your holiday shopping, your birthday shopping, buy your gifts at Novel Neighbor and help them stay part of your community forever.
Yeah, and get a drawing from me if you do as a thank you.
That's incredible. And truly, like, we are so appreciative that you're offering that win. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Shannon, for your words. And if you're looking in the audience, if you're like, yes, I'm feeling excited to support my local independent bookstore, no matter where you are, it's Local Independent Bookstore Day on April 24th.
Yes.
So coming up. So it's the last Saturday in April. And authors just like you two always offer special things during that day. I mean, and so it's super cool. Mark your calendars now. But just to echo you, Shannon, thank you so much for that. And we really appreciate everyone's investment because we certainly are committed to our community. And we appreciate authors and illustrators to make it easy for us to be able to compete with that. Because when no one else can get, unless you purchase from these 6 or 7 bookstores, you can't get this personalized plate anywhere else. So we are so appreciative for that. And we thank you so much for thinking to make that extra special effort. So thank you both so, so much. I know we're all going to be talking about this visit for forever. I think the unicorn and kitty corn are going to stay in our store forever.
They're so awesome. I know. I want one for my house.
No.
They're so cool.
We even have a picture of a puppy with a headband trying to be a kitty corn in front of it. So if you are fans of any of those animals, check that out or come to the store and take your own picture with the unicorn and the kitty corn. And thank you again so much. And we hope to see everyone at our future events. Thank you so much. And we hope to host both of you in St. Louis.
Yes, hopefully soon.
Bring that arch picture. We hope. I've written down Kitty Corn's birthday. So September 6th, 2019.
September 17th.
Solidified. These are my attempts at making Kitty Corn.
I love it.
I am not an illustrator, obviously, but
it's fun, isn't it? Wasn't it kind of fun just to do it?
It is. It was
it.
super fun. I was like playing around with it. I'm pretty sure I'm like gonna keep playing with it. So, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.